He coke and hissed open with a sharp crack. Then, in one careless flick of his wrist, the captain poured it over her head. Cold liquid splashed down her hair, soaking the white of her uniform. The room froze. A few young officers laughed awkwardly, then stopped, sensing the silence that followed was heavier than humor. The woman didn't move. She stood still, eyes closed, letting the dark soda drip down her collar. No anger, no words, only quiet. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, and share this story from Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from. It was a humid afternoon aboard the naval training vessel Ardent. They were celebrating the captain's promotion. Casual laughter, paper cups, the metallic scent of the sea mixing with coke and salt. The young woman had just arrived that morning. She wore a trainee's uniform, no badges, no ribbons, only a name tag, Maya. To the crew, she was just another new face sent from headquarters for field experience. But to one man on deck, the captain, she was a target for amusement. He had a reputation. Confident, loud, the kind of man who believed command was a stage. He joked with his subordinates like an entertainer with an audience. They laughed because they had to, so when he spotted Maya standing quietly by the railing, watching the horizon instead of joining their laughter, he decided to make her part of the fun. He walked over, smiling broadly. "Too serious, cadet?" She turned politely. "Just watching the waves, sir." He chuckled, raised his coke, and before anyone could react, tilted it over her head. Laughter burst, but died in seconds. Maya didn't flinch. She only looked up at him, steady, calm, eyes dark with something unreadable. "Permission to clean up, sir?" she asked softly. He waved dismissively, still grinning. "Go ahead. Lighten up next time." She turned and walked away, leaving wet footprints across the deck. That evening, the captain's laughter had faded. He sat alone in his cabin, still smug but uneasy. He had noticed how the crew whispered after Maya left, how even his first officer had looked away. There was something about her silence that unsettled him, like being measured by someone who already knew more than he did. He brushed it off. "Just another recruit," he muttered. "Some people can't take a joke." But the next morning, the ship's intercom crackled. "All officers to briefing room immediately." When the captain entered, the air was different, stiff, expectant. The officers stood in perfect attention. At the head of the table, where the Admiral usually sat, was Maya. Her uniform now bore full insignia, gold stripes, command pins gleaming in the pale light. The room fell silent as she turned to face them. "Good morning," she said calmly. "Admiral Donovan will not be joining us today. I've been assigned to oversee this crew for the next 2 weeks." The captain's throat tightened. He stared, not understanding. Then she met his eyes. "Captain," she said, voice cool but steady, "I believe we met yesterday." No one breathed. Maya continued, tone professional, eyes unwavering. "I prefer discipline over mockery, respect over ridicule. You poured coke on my head as a joke. Consider this briefing your moment to reflect on what command truly means." The silence was absolute. The captain's jaw trembled. Ma'am, I didn't..." But she raised a hand, stopping him with quiet grace. "No need for explanations, Captain. The sea already tests us enough. It's the moments on land or on deck when we reveal who we truly are." Her words landed like slow thunder. Not angry, not loud, but unforgettable. The next few days, the ship transformed. The captain's laughter disappeared, replaced by a quiet focus. He watched Maya, no, Admiral Donovan's daughter, move through the deck with calm authority. She spoke little, but every instruction was clear, measured, human. He began to notice things he hadn't before, the fear in young recruits' eyes when he barked orders, the exhaustion hidden under smiles. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, he found Maya alone by the railing, the same place where it all began. He approached slowly. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "I owe you an apology." She didn't turn at once. The wind carried her voice softly. "No apology necessary, Captain. But perhaps a question. What did you learn?" He swallowed. "That respect isn't given by rank. It's earned by how we treat those we think are beneath us." For the first time, she smiled faintly. "Then the sea has already taught you more than I ever could." The waves broke gently below them. No music, no applause, Just two officers staring into the endless horizon, one humbled, one serene. When Maya departed a week later, the crew lined up to salute. The captain stood at the front, his posture firm, eyes shining with something that wasn't pride, but gratitude. As the transport vessel pulled away, a young recruit whispered, "Was she really the Admiral's daughter?" The captain didn't answer. He simply watched the ship fade into the golden mist. Sometimes leadership is not about how loud we are, but how deeply we listen. And respect is never a joke. It's a mirror that shows who we are when no one is laughing. If this story moved you, like, comment, and share your Kindness Valley thoughts below, and subscribe for more untold stories.